Hey y'all, welcome to the Movie House. You're just in time to hear me talk about... 3 years after the self-described epic conclusion to the Jurassic saga, Universal Pictures has assembled a new story, a new cast, a talented director alongside OG-JP screenwriter to bring Jurassic World Rebirth to a seemingly ever dino-hungry audience in hopes of continuing the multi-billion-dollar franchise. But is this 7th entry any good? The reviews have not been too hot, but hey, Siskel and Ebert tore into the original Jurassic Park, so what do they know?
And I feel that really this movie, though, is a missed opportunity, because what he doesn't have here, and what I really missed from a movie by Spielberg like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, is the sense of awe, the sense of majesty. These creatures are back, and it's amazing. And right away, after an opening shot that has a little of that,
yes, it does,
the movie disintegrates basically into a monster picture.
At this point, it's become the common belief that if the critics like a movie, it's crap, and if they hate it, it's probably going to appeal to general audiences in a big bad way. The story this time pretty much retcons the previous film. Dinosaurs can't actually coexist with the modern world, with most dying off in the years since. The only remaining dinos surviving along the equator, due to it closer resembling the climate of the prehistoric world. Enter a team of mercenaries tasked with collecting the DNA from the 3 largest dinosaurs of land, sea, and air in hopes of synthesizing a vaccine for a breakthrough in medical research. Good news for this crew, all 3 animals are located on a single island. Bad news, said island was a secret R&D dumping ground for InGen's more deranged genetic experiments. From there, it's bog standard Jurassic action, need I say more. Jurassic World Rebirth is a silly title since there's very little new or rejuvenating here. It shares elements from both The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3. Unfortunately, it inherits the flaws of both. Is it better than Jurassic World Dominion? Yeah, for the most part. It depends on what you mean and what you're looking for. Whereas Dominion starred characters we genuinely like in an overstuffed story that got in the way of impactful action set pieces, Rebirth delivers a simple story with a handful of really solid action scenes undermined by a bunch of human characters we could mostly give less than a shit about. But since spectacle is the main reason why any of us go to see summer blockbusters, I gotta give it to Rebirth. Taking advantage of both classic dinosaurs like the T-Rex in a scene that was in the original Crichton novel but was never utilized till now, while also showcasing dinos from previous entries that were never utilized in a meaningful way, such as the Mosasaurus or the Quetzalcoatlus. It also helps having a visually adept director like Gareth Edwards helming. His trademark incredible sense of scale brings back some of the awe in seeing these creatures, even if we're back to all CG instead of mixing both practical and digital dinosaurs for maximum effect like in the old movies. There's nevertheless some truly gorgeous shots in this movie, but like, well, all of Edwards' filmography, he's betrayed by a lackluster script, which is bizarre considering David Koepp, screenwriter of the first 2 JP movies, is back here, yet the script sucks. Setting up and advertising heavily this whole plotline of horrific mutant dinosaurs, and then doing next to nothing with them, ending on an absolute whimper. Not even giving audiences the brain-dead satisfaction of a fight scene between dinosaurs and mutants to appease our inner 8-year-olds in need of a monster mash. The designs of these new monsters also leave much to be desired. Asymmetry is the magic word when making a good abomination, otherwise they look too natural and not a blight against creation. It also doesn't help that Koepp fills his script with some of the most obvious and irritating characters in the whole series. Yes, there are some talented actors here, but it feels like they weren't sure what Scarlett Johansson's Zora Bennett's character was supposed to be, and she comes off as really wooden because of that. The pirate-like Duncan Kincaid, despite his best efforts, wastes a talent like Mahershala Ali, and Rupert Friend's Martin Krebs is so clearly a villain you think he was introduced with all the subtlety of a classic Disney villain. Then there's a random civilian family simply there to have the seemingly contractually obligated young children in dino danger trope, just this time with a side order of awful idiot slacker boyfriend. This new cast would be a total bust if it was not for Jonathan Bailey's Dr. Henry Loomis. This protege of Alan Grant is someone who both still marvels at the beauty of dinosaurs, but also respects that these animals are insanely dangerous. I forgot how much I miss this type of character in this series. In a way, he reminds me of Hooper from Jaws. Actually, there's a lot of Jaws here. I mean, not a bad idea to fuse Spielberg's 2 best blockbusters together. If this new storyline got a follow-up, I'd be okay if it continues with the Loomis character, and dropping everything else. Just next time, maybe hold back on the paper-thin meditations of pharmaceutical greed written with the depth of a 14-year-old brought to you by a multi-billion-dollar film studio. Which, judging by the box office so far, yeah, Universal's got another hit on their hands. There's gonna be more. That's fine. I get that this series has essentially become critic-proof, owning a monopoly on dinosaurs in cinema, and I'm part of the problem. I love this franchise. The original is my favorite movie. None of the sequels, which I've admittedly enjoyed, have ever gotten close to its brilliance, though. But I've mostly been fine with that because I just don't think you ever could match the quality of the first film. There has been peaks and valleys for sure, but I'm also cognizant enough to admit when one of these movies is lackluster. And wanting more out of this series doesn't seem like that big of a demand. And also, I legitimately don't know where the hell we go from here story-wise. I guess we'll just have to wait and see if there is a sequel, because in the end, Jurassic World Rebirth is some disappointing silver screen schlock. But that's enough for me. I'd like to hear what y'all thought. Like, comment, or subscribe if you feel so inclined. But more importantly, until next time, stay safe out there.